third-party library like REST APIs and .NET language. Okay, so you know this is for static and this is for doing real-time analytics. So now no service available to Azure Data Lake stored in generation 2 in portal. You don't have. Okay, let me log into the portal, then I'll tell you step by step. I think most of the people have redeemed your what do you say, Azure Pass. Yes or no? Someone has to tell me. Yeah, I think you have not redeemed. I think you have joined late. Yeah, Patan sir, I call you multiple times. I'll help you out. Let's work out. Yeah, no worries. I'll try to help you out. Let me go with the content. So I was just helping out with that redeeming for 1 hour. I was just waiting. Don't worry, I'll try to help you out. Okay, we'll do it. Right. So let me go. So you have Azure storage account, Azure Data Lake Store Generation 1. So why they have put this, I'll tell. Okay, let me go. Let me go to the portal and close this all. We'll go step by step. Today I might be covering only 2 models. Tomorrow I'll try to increase some little bit speed, then I'll cover. Okay. So right. So if you go to this, just give me a minute. Okay. Right. So if you go to Azure storage, right? Go to Azure storage. Okay. You have this. Click. Now go to Azure Data Lake Gen 2 storage generation 1. Okay, you have here Data Lake storage generation 1. Okay, if I go and change to, I should write Azure Data Lake store. Now if you go to generation 2, you are not shown. It is showing only Azure Data Lake generation 1 only, not 2, because there is no service available. For that you need to go and create Azure storage account and you need to convert. See here, I'll make that. Go to Azure storage account, go here, click here. I'll go for new, creating account here. So now I'll go to subscription. I'll create a resource group. What is this resource group means? Nothing but a logical container of your resource. So generally it is like a folder where you dump all the files. When you're working the project, what you do? You create a folder. The files relating to that project, what you do? You will dump into that folder for that respective project. So this is also same case. Now you are working for one project. I'll create one project. I'll say rg-some project 1. Name is project 1. I'm creating. Sorry. Project 1. So project name is project 1. So that project requires some services like storage, SQL database, Azure Databricks. So why I'm creating resource groups? Tomorrow I can easily go and identify that this resource belong to that project. This resource group belong to that project. That's the reason. So if at all I don't create, what happens? Nothing happens. There is no, it's not mandatory to create a project group. If you don't create, also nothing. But tomorrow you want to identify what resource belong to what project, you can go with resource group and identify. That is one. Next thing is, tomorrow if at all you want to move from one environment to other environment, now you are in development. Tomorrow you go to test. Day after you go to QA. After that you go to UAT. Then you go to SIT. Then at that time what you'll do, you'll go and search for each and every resource. No, you can go and search. That's up to you. But if you go to this resource group and find out, you can find out because this resource group belongs to that project one. So using this resource, you can easily identify that how many resources are there for this project, and these all resources can be moved from one unit to other unit. So one is for easy identification, one is for your deployment, other is to know what is the price of your resource for each and every project. That is the three things that you define. But nowhere Microsoft has told you need to have a separate resource group for each and every project. For each and every resource also you can have separate resource group. Okay, right. Now give some name here. I'm creating Azure storage account demo. Now I'm going here. So it was East Asia. I showed you paid, right? I'm taking this. So these are the data centers. These are all data centers here. So now you can ask me, where should I create now? I'm taking East US, but I'm in India. Where I'm in India, but I'm creating there. Then if I tell you I want to store any data from my local machine to that, or I want to read through some web application where the data is stored in East US, but data is traveling over the network, right? So for that also they charge you money. So you need to understand where you need to come into a conclusion that you need to estimate this. You need to come into conclusion that you need to create a resource at the place where the number of users are near to that data center. You can't create in India. If the number of users are accessing from US, you need to create that nearest location where it is accessed. You can't create. That's the reason my Cosmos DB has come in with a multi-tenant, creating globally. You can't create a data in USDS data center. People are from India. You should create either in South Central or West Central, West India or South Central or Central India. Because all the users are from India. You can't go and create in US. Okay, right. Now go to the type here. So you have performance here. That is standard and premium. So I was saying, just see there. You can see storage. Standard storage accounts types are backed up with magnetic drives and provide lower cost per GB. They are best for applications that require bulk storage or where data is accessed inactive. That is for standard. So there are two types of storage. One is standard and premium. Standard is only for bulk storage. That is what backup and infrequently accessed. That is one. When you go to premium storage accounts are backed with solid state drives. That is what I told you, fiber, cable, optical, and offer consistent low latency performance. They can only be used with Azure virtual machines, hard disk, and input output applications, right? Like database, additional virtual machines use premium storage for all disk, and there's some latency. So this is what. So now you are creating standard. It means you are creating on a magnetic drive. If you go to premium, this is getting created onto your fiber cable optical, right? Go to standard because we are just doing it. Now go to this versions in storage. I'm going for V2. Okay. Now there is something called replication. Data in your store. If you go to this, data in your storage account is always replicated to ensure durability, high availability. Choose the replicant strategy that matches your durability requirement. That is geo-replication. So in this replication, you have local, zone, geography, read axis geography, zone, geo zone redundant, read axis geo zone redundant. Leave this read axis is all. You have local. When you say local, what happens? When you say zone, when you say geography. So in what case you need to go for zone, in what case you need to go geography, when in what case we need to go for local. So the case now, example, if you are working with a banking application, or if you're working with healthcare, pharmacy application, or if you're working with your related to your country military data or sensitive information of your citizens of India. Leave about government of India. I'm not talking about that. Go for China or go for US. Go for Germany. There are some restrictions on data of their citizens, SSN number or military data of China, US, Germany. They don't want their data to be traveled outside their country. Okay, so in that app you need to go to local redundant. In India, everyone shares their data. Our government is like that. Leave about that. So in that case, if at all you don't want our data to be traveled across the country, then you need to go for local. Then when you say local, the second paid data center and third paid data center would also be in the India only. If you go for China or US or Germany, when they wanted to have global redundant, local redundant storage because of restrictions on data, the second, third, first, primary, secondary, third paid data centers would be in local. That doesn't go with outside that country. That is what local redundant storage. Okay. Now go to network, and when you go to zone, now what happens in India? We have three data centers, right? One is in West India, Central India, and South India. So now what happens? Either West India, Central India becomes one zone, or this Central India and South India will become one zone. So in India, within the data centers within the country will be divided into some zones here. Okay, that is what. Now when you go to this geo, so now what happens? Three data centers in India, and if you go, if it Nepal is having, Sri Lanka is having, or any other country which are near to the country, which are near by our country, those all will come into one geography. So you know geography, right? So one country, other country, two to three countries will become one geography. So if at all Nepal is having any data center or Sri Lanka is having any data center, so India, Sri Lanka, Nepal would become one geography. When you have selected geography, so here because of factor, replication factor, they are going to getting three replicas. So one replication would be in India, and one replication would be in that is in Sri Lanka, other replication would be Nepal. Because why? These three are become into one geography, right? And you are selecting geography replication. That's the reason. So data is traveling across the outside India. So if at all there is entire, if there is a world war or because of some reason, there would be data available in Sri Lanka and Nepal also. If world war is there, then war. But when you go to this local redundant, if there is some problem with the data center, entire data center is down, then you will not able to retrieve any single piece of data also in the local redundant. Okay, so this is all you should consider. Now, if you go to standard, you are getting all this, right? When you go to standard, you are getting local zone, this also. I'll go with some central India. Okay, let's go with central India or something else. Where is that India? East, central India. If you go here, you are getting only three options here. That is local, geography, not zone, geography, and read axis geo redundant. Not you are not getting zone, read axis also. You are getting only three. Previously, you were getting around some six. If you go to East US, go there, you are getting all local, zone, geography, read axis geography, read axis zone, and geography zone read axis. But you are not getting here. Okay, so you are taking standard. If I take premium, you'll only have only local. You will not get even that, because performance you want to have high, so you'll have local. Irrespective whether you go to East US or anything, when you take premium, that is performance is premium, you will have only local, where whichever data center you take. Okay, just see. I'll go with the standard local next year. Now data protection. So now a network entity. So you are creating storage unit. You are creating a storage unit. When you are creating a storage unit, data is in the cloud, that is in public data center where Microsoft is managing, right? So when you say public network, even anyone who knows the storage account name and that access key, even me, you, a person can sit into a public network in internet cafe. Internet cafe. I'm not talking about your home. I'm not talking about your office. You have some public internet caves, right? Where you pay the money and use it, or you go for a airport longy Wi-Fi or something. You can access from there also when you go to this public net endpoint or all networks. If you go to public endpoint but selected network, you are creating your own network. Only the people who log into that network would be able to access. Only when you go to private network and you need to add your network, go here, add that, then you're using private DNS. When you use private DNS, then you are going to add your all IP addresses there. So only that people. So this is how you handle. So what type of security mechanism you want to do it, right? Connectivity. Now go to data protection. So what is data protection is nothing but when you are loading data into blob, or when you're trying to access by default your deleted data, then what is the retention period of that? You're deleted, but before you delete, you're deleted. So permanently you're deleted. When you say delete, it's deleted. But you wanted to get back that data, so you're not able to do it. So there is a flexibility of turnover here. So retention period. So storage time. This is also soft delete. So here what you can do is you can, if at all you are deleted by default, by somehow you are deleted, but that deleted file will be stored into some storage unit till 7 days, and you can restore that back. That is what you have soft delete is all. Okay, that you can do it. Now you have version control, right? This is all you can do it, right? Now they go to advanced. Now there is something called secure transfer protocol, secure transfer. So now Microsoft, that leave about Microsoft, Adventure Works customer is set up a web app, right? And customer has to access that application. So when he's searching for a bicycle, you want to view you want to view that for photos of that bicycle. So now secure transfer required. So it is enabled by default. Means there's some protocol they are enabling it. Go and see there. Secure transfer enables. So what it does is, if a request come from HTTP, it is going to allow. Otherwise, no. If you say disable, so protocol coming from HTTP or HTTPS, it is going to take. When you enable, only the request coming from HTTPS will be accepted. Okay, and allow shared access keys. I'll tell you what is that. So this is blob access. Now go to cool and hot. Cool hot. How frequently you access? That is one. Now if you go to this Azure Data Lake Generation 2, it is by default disabled. Okay, I'll try to show you. That is Azure Data Lake Generation 2. You need to enable this. I'll tell you. Now go to tags here, review, click on create. After this is over, click. Someone is. Click on create. No, what you are trying to tell me? What you? Yeah, let me see into your question. I have noticed from technical support that they have restored anything that has been deleted within 7 days, even they don't have software in it. Yeah, they'll do it. This is only you are doing it. That is what I have told you. When backup is taken, that backup, whatever backup that you take, so replication factor is there. So they'll they'll restore that data. So instead of going to technical support team, you have option to enable and restore it instead of reaching Microsoft team. That is what is meant, that enable soft delete, that all meant is instead of reaching out to you to Microsoft support team, instead of that you can enable and put it for next 7 days or 6 days. You can, it's not only 7 days, you can put it for 1 year, till 1 year, that option. Okay, we'll come to that part. Now we have something called storage, container, file share, tables, and message queues. What is this? What is this file share and table queues? These are meant for your .NET applications. Files, shares, tables, queues. These are okay. When you go for container, this is only for unstructured data. Leave about that. Okay. So even though you can put structure, semi-structure, you can put any data, but scalable. There is been told, but no one is bothered about when they wanted to have as a backup or read only or archive, people come for the container. Okay, just see. So that is what. So these are the four service. File shares is what? Nothing but there are some two applications wanted to share the data. So two applications are on the cloud or on premise. So they want to share the data, talk to each other. They can't directly talk. What they do, they write the data to that file. The second application will read the data. And after reading, the second application will write the data to that file. And first application will go again to go to that file and read the data what second application has wrote. So they're sharing the data between the applications. So in that case, you'll go file shares. When you go for table, this is a key value pair. Okay, it is similar to your Cosmos DB. We'll talk there. Now go to queues here. So what is this queues is? So when users are talking to the application, so requests are sent to the application request. So what it is, it will take in first basis. So when I put the request, it is trying to serve, and second person, third person are coming in. So they are this queues will put hold for second and third person. Don't know who has come first and was, so the what is it? As soon as the request, it will come to put into the queue. Later it will try the third one coming in, fourth it will try in put in the queue. So when the second one is served, the third request will be taken. When the third is served, fourth would. So as the request coming in, they'll put into the queue. That is what they do it. Okay. So this file shares, tables, queues are mainly used for your .NET applications, not for your SQL, not for your data platform. Now go to the containers here. Okay, before that we'll come here. So okay, so you go to this geo replication. So we have taken local, so geo replication doesn't come into picture. That is one. If at all you want, you go and add. Go here. So you're taken only this, and you're taken only geo local. So it would be within. So next one we'll create and see that. Now go to this encryption. By default, Microsoft is doing encryption here. If at all you want, just go add your key that encryption what you are trying to do, enter that key vault, that will convert based on your algorithm that you are writing it. But Microsoft is already doing for you. You can see here data address written in data centers automatically decrypts for you when you access it. Okay, so this is what first thing is geo replication. They do it because we have taken local redundancy here, so it is not working. Next thing is encryption, most important factor. So we have module 8 and 9. There we are going to talk all these only. So that's the reason I'm repeating here. Module 8 and 9 is meant for your how do you secure the data stores, and 9 is how ultimately you are going to use the resources that we are going to talk. So I'm covering that also here. So there also we'll talk. So one is geo replication, encryption, and security. Okay, so you have data defender. So why? Because this is continuously going to monitor your data that is stored, or anyone who is accessing your data, or anyone when is request. You can see here. against threat, manage secure vulnerabilities according to your resources. So when request is made, when trying to access your data, when it is writing, any third exe file is ran, or that all vulnerability assessment will be done. Here you can see continuous monitor potential security mitigate them. So you need to enable this. They charge you money. Okay, so they are telling you for first 30 days is free. It is like government of India. They habituate you, after that they charge. That is what Microsoft is also doing now. Right? This is one. Now go to this. Right. You have seen this geo replication. You have seen encryption. You have seen this one security, and you have networking. So it is public defined public one. So when it is public, all the networks, everyone can access. You want to go for selected network, go and add. So when you're selected network, so your IP address would be added. That is what I told you. You add the IP address here, all the IP addresses, then only a request coming from that IP address would be allowed to access. So this is how you do it. Okay, so just know the concept, because these all you are not going to do it. We as a data platform, we are not going to do. So for this, you have separate infrastructure team who is going to take care of this. Okay, how to create network, virtual network security groups, adding your users to that, adding your IP address to that. So they do it. You need not do. So this is what you need to know, because DP 200 is only for implementation. DP 201 is for designing, not even what architecture. So you need to consider that all pillars of architecture, this network security, these all operations, performance, reliability. These all the four pillars you have. So at that time you need to take all these considerations. Okay, right. Now come. Okay, everything is okay. You have created. I told that these are the services meant. This is for file. This is for table. This is for something. This is for a data. So I'll go here. I'll go container. So as I told you, this is flat namespace object based one, not hierarchy one. I'll go here. I'll create one container as development. Say okay. Okay. Now go here. I'll upload some files to this. How do you manually? So here there's something upload button. They have told, right? How do you inject the data? So there's something to upload. We have Azure Data Factory also to copy. We have a CLA command. We have REST APIs. We have .NET. Many things you have. Okay. So no one is going to do this like this. You are going to do either with PowerShell, either with REST API, either with Azure Data Factory or .NET. No one will come and do like this until unless customer says that you need to run a ad hoc report and he has missed putting a file in FTP, and by that time that Azure Data Factory has run its trigger is completed till that time. But here customer says ad hoc you want to do, so I'll just go. I'll copy some files from here. So I'll take some images. Let me take some images. So they have told na, some images. So there is something, just leave access tire. I'm uploading here. I uploaded image here, right? Some image. So now, so now assume this is one of the bicycle image. Now this is one of the bicycle image. Now I have a bicycle image, and I am also looking for this bicycle only in web application. Then how do that web application will allow access to this one? Okay, how do that? Because web application written in .NET, and storage they are telling that you provide a storage data store where all images would be there. Yes, I have created, I have uploaded image also. Then how do you provide? This is one different thing. This is Azure resource, and that is Azure web app. And one more, I get Azure SQL database now, because customer, after he says yes, he'll put an order. So I'll record his details into that database. How do you give from web access, from web portal website? How do you give access to this Azure store How do you access? So there is something called, to access this, we have something called access keys. Okay, show keys here. You have .NET connection string. Here also you have connection string, and here you have key also, key 1 and key 2. So this .NET connection string is used for .NET applications. Connection string is used for .NET applications, but this key is used for your data, big data analytics. So when you are doing big data analytics, so you generally go with these keys. But when .NET applications has to access, then you need to go with connection string. Okay, right. So here they have key 1, key 2, key 1 and key 2. Okay. So how you are going to, how you are going, so how you are going to do? So we have web application, that is okay. Connection string you got, and we have key here, that is for your data analysis, that you can do it. Now the question is, these two, this is not having any expiration time, this is also not having expiration time. This keys has to be shared to the application users who are going to access your photos. This is one. So if you feel like this has been exposed to the outside world, then they can access, right? They can access. So every time what you need to come here and regenerate. Now what you have, yes slash, right? Yes slash. Now I'll try to regenerate. Go there. Now as it has got CM plus, and here also it has got CM. This has also got regenerated CM plus. So every time you need to come and regenerate here when you feel like this is not secured one. Nothing but not secured when you feel like this is exposed to the outside world. Now go to this, then this is one way of accessing your blob using access keys. But the only thing is you don't have start and end period of validity. Now you go to access keys, shared access keys here. So here I'll just leave this file queue because it's not meant for me. I'll go to container, this all. Now I have something called enable deletion of versions. Nothing but when you delete the files, it is enabling the version of data. That is what repository we have told soft delete this all. Now you have start date and end date. Start date and end. So you are trying to generate shared access signature, and you are adding your IP addresses here, and go to this. What protocol you want? You want to go with HTTP or HTTPSS? So when the request is made, how do you make? So you want to accept only when the request come with HTTP or HTTPS and HTTP also. Okay. Now you can generate key 1 and key 2. Anything. Now click on key. So you got this connection sync, you got this token, you got this URL, and you have this start date and end date also. So this is valid till what time? This is 22nd afternoon 1 p.m. to 22nd of night 10 p.m. So you can change this all. You go here, set time, and change this time. And here also you can. I'll just go till month ending. And what is your time zone? I'm in India, so I'm going with UTC plus 5.5 hours. Right? You have Kathmandu here, Jairanpuran, Islamabad, Dhaka, Sri Lanka, that is Bangladesh. You can go there. Now